What's going on, everybody? In this series of videos, we're going to be unpacking the episodic marketing framework, and in this specific installment, we're going to be looking at AV setup. So if you're not familiar with the episodic marketing framework, definitely check it out on our website. Definitely check the very first video in this series where we do an overview on, plan, produce, repurpose, and distribute, which is the essential framework that a lot of great companies use to create successful shows, not just across like planning and putting them out, but also making sure that they're repurposing them and that as many people as possible are seeing that content. And in this series of videos, we're basically giving you the blueprint directly so that hopefully it will add value to your team if you guys are creating a video series or an original series show as such. And yeah, today we're going to be talking about produce. So when it comes to produce, we're going to be looking at AV setup, recording, and publishing. So first of all, for AV setup, that's what we're going to be talking about today. Audio video setup. A lot of people stress about this. They think that they have to get the best gear before really being able to create a show, because when they think of show, they think of like Netflix, they think of like television, cinema, right? Like high quality and high production value. And I'll be lying if I say this doesn't make a difference. Of course, it makes a huge difference, but only to the extent that you have access to it. One of our favorite quotes and words of wisdom comes from Casey Neistat, who says the best camera is the one that you just have access to in the moment, whether it's like a smartphone or whether it is like a Sony camera, right, or a webcam, or even just like your built-in webcam in your computer. Whatever you have access to, ultimately keep in mind that people are there for the conversation and the entertainment value that they're going to be getting from your show. If you can get a better camera, by all means do it, but it's not a requirement whatsoever. Especially if this is your first show, you definitely want to make sure that you're piloting it and that you're seeing success before you invest further in this. So as we were saying, AV setup, when it comes to audio and video setup, the simplest way to get started is literally using Zoom and figuring out what works best for you and for your guest. Zoom usually is great for remote conversations because you have your built-in webcam and you have your built-in microphone from your computer. It's the easiest and fastest way to get started. The only thing I'd say is that maybe prop up your laptop so that your webcam is eye level. Even though it's such a minor thing, it makes a huge difference for the end viewer, because they feel like you're kind of like seeing them eye to eye, or like you're at eye level in that regard, both figuratively and literally. But yeah, that's like kind of like baseline, right? Now beyond that, what else could you do? Again, speaking of smartphones, you could use your smartphone selfie camera or like main camera and have that record while you're doing the Zoom recording anyway. And then in post-production, you could just swap out the Zoom recording video for the actual smartphone camera. That's a great way, very inexpensive way to get great footage from your smartphone. And naturally, your guests will have smartphones as well. And even like the run-of-the-mill like smartphones, they will do the job, and naturally they'll be a lot better as well than your built-in webcam. So that's in terms of video. In terms of audio, one thing that you could do is you could use a headset similar to this one, but in the same time, you could also go on Amazon and get like a very inexpensive mic for $20, $50. There's actually no limit whatsoever to the price that you could pay for a microphone, but you could already get something very, very decent for under $100. If all else fails, and if you have a second smartphone by any chance, you could actually turn on the sound recorder app on a second smartphone, have that really close to you, and use that as your microphone. So one phone becomes your microphone, one phone becomes your smartphone. So these are just some quick ideas on how to get a robust like AV setup done fairly quickly, fairly inexpensively. In the next video, we're going to be talking about the rest of the steps inside the produce stage, and I'll see you in the next one.